What's going on, guys? Costi with PickDawgz, episode number 33, Tales from the Ticket with Eric, as always. What's going on, man?
Just got off the bike, weaving through the snow and the ice, and now I'm back. First sunny day. You can see the sun on my face. I noticed last Thursday there was sun on my face on the video. There hasn't been sun coming in through this window since last Thursday. So this must be good luck when we do these shows. The sun is shining.
I mean, I would hope. It's 1 o'clock in the afternoon.
Yeah,
I would hope there's sun.
Gray winter.
No, you're over exaggerating.
You can't.
It hasn't been that bad.
Golf in this, I can ride in this.
No, there's no golf. You can't play golf when there's snow on the ground.
Well, really, why don't you guys have like black golf balls and then you can like hit them?
No, it's not the golf balls. The course is closed.
Oh,
because you would any time that there's like if it's too wet, the course is closed because they don't want you beating up the grass, and then they can't fix it. So it's a sport where you're playing outside, but it's not a field. So it's not like manicured where it's fake, it's fake turf or whatever. This is with golf, it's much different, but I wanted to break down and talk about some things because I had a couple clients that, let me say potential clients that always, it's always, how do I phrase it correctly? The reality of this business is everybody has an opinion. Everybody has an opinion on every single element of a sports bet, whether it's a total, whether it's a player prop. And
you mean every recreational gambler has an opinion?
Every recreational gambler has an opinion.
Because the pros don't have any opinions. But go ahead.
Right. And talking to this gentleman who was a potential client, I come off sometimes as rude and brash, but in reality, I'm just speaking.
Welcome to my thing.
And this gentleman took advantage of an opportunity to work with me. And I get into these, I'm so emotionally invested in every client, win or lose, that the reality is I shouldn't be emotionally invested in the people that don't have the same investment in return. And I'll just leave it at that. It's really not, there's no place for stupidity in this business.
Well, I mentioned this on my video series. We didn't mention it last week on Tales from the Ticket. So we're about a week and a half removed. You can tell everybody this story about, and it leads into sports betting, losing our secretary last week, and why I'm not emotionally invested when things like that happen, AKA Mitch, AKA my partner before Mitch, AKA Brad, AKA Amanda. If anything, when you live long enough and you see this happen over and over again for various different reasons, cancer was one reason, heart attack was another reason, asthma attack was another reason, heart attack was another reason. Am I going to get emotionally invested? And my personal opinion is all those things are gently reminders to kick yourself in the ass, to not take any of this all too serious, because again, the reality is, as emotionally invested as you are, and that's fine. I was there. I was there when I was 23. I was there when I was 33. I was a little less there when I was 43. I don't give a fuck at 53. I give two fucks about any client upset about anything. There is and has to be self-accountability. Nobody is holding a gun to anybody's head saying you must wager on sports, you must trade crypto, you must trade stocks. You are not going to get me with the fucking violin. No. And it's not about not being kind to one another. It's about you having personal responsibility. So, like, you remember last week we had that guy that was commenting here. Just call him T, from Philadelphia. Guy didn't even last 3 days. Didn't even last 3 days. I want you to be my mentor. I want to learn how to do this correctly. Should I get emotionally invested when the guy just goes back off the reservation with his 20-team parlays and he's going to just blow himself to smithereens? And am I supposed to get the phone call in a couple of weeks where he goes, sorry? I don't give a fuck. I don't care. This is designed as a very unique industry. It's designed to take your money with you being happy with a smile on your face. If think about it as like if you're a sports book, when I read these, and then I'll let you continue. I didn't mean to take over your monologue with my monologue, but I read these I read these financial disclosure, public information. You can go on Google, FanDuel, DraftKings, Flutter Entertainment. And like literally, it's all fake professional speak to say we love sucking money out of losers. The same guys are then calling us, telling us they got a good opinion and they win, and I'm supposed to get emotionally invested? No, I'm a schmuck that I don't own a sports book. If I come back in another life, it should be on the other side of the counter.
Right.
Because it's easy to win if you bet correctly, and it's easy to win if you take bets. And the guys in the middle can't win. While they, like yesterday, I had some 24-year-old kid from, remember that text? He's sending you screen. This is another thing these guys do. They send screenshots of their account balances, but they're not like current. You know, I had 100 grand in. Now I have 400 grand in. I'm on the phone with the guy. Dude, how much is in your account? It took me 10 minutes just to get the answer. He's in Florida betting at Hollywood. I don't care about your screenshots. You don't need to impress me because it's always, I'll show you. I don't. How much is in your 20 grand? Why are you showing me a screenshot with 500 grand? You want my players club? It's 4 grand to get started. Let me talk to my partner. I've never been in it. This is another thing for all you guys. Then I'm done. I swear to God. This is another thing. What's with the partner bullshit? What's with the partner bullshit? Let me talk to my partner. Now, if you're married and your wife has your nuts in a vice, that's a complete different story. I could understand if
also
you said,
fake.
Also fake. Let me talk to your wife. I get it. Let me talk to my partner. Okay, so you mean to tell me every time you make a wager, you fucking call somebody, is it okay if I make this wager? Will you go in 50-50 with me? Like, save me the partner bullshit. All these guys, every time somebody says to me, let me talk to my partner, I know I'm dealing with a loser. All right, I'm done. I'm going to flip to being nice.
It's funny that you bring that up because I had a potential client reach out to me. I think it was Monday or Tuesday. I've been watching a lot of your videos. I've been watching you for a year plus. I'm very intrigued on the way that you attack the market, completely different than handicapping. I'm going to call you, but I'm going to talk to my wife because she bets also.
That's cool.
No, it's the partner wife.
That's fine.
You say that. I haven't heard from him.
Not a male saying, let me talk to some dude.
No, but it's the same thing. They're partners, but they're married. It's all fake.
But you know what? That's better than the guy hiding in the corner bets quietly that his wife doesn't even know he's making bets.
It's the same. Stanley, what's up, brother? Still waiting to hear back from you.
Stanley and I FaceTimed Stanley once. We had a nice conversation.
Really nice guy. Let me answer this question. So there's a couple of different.
Let me answer because nobody understands. I wish there was a way you could put stuff up on the screen. Why you got to figure out how to get like a whiteboard, like we did with Barry the other day, where you can punch words in that people can then Google why they're watching.
I can punch them in.
Kelly, Kelly, and then it's Criterion, CRIT.
Hold on. Kelly.
And then it's Criterion, CRITERION. If you just Google Kelly Criterion, it's a mathematical formula for sports betting. You can Google it. It'll come up Wikipedia. The 1%, this whole per unit, there's no 1% per unit. Okay. There's no 1% per unit. There's full Kelly. There's 3/4 Kelly, which we'll get to. There's half Kelly. And there's quarter Kelly. That's the criterion. You have to determine your risk tolerance. So what that means is based on $100,000 bankroll. There's no unit. Stop with the unit crap. There's no monetary thing called a unit. There's percentages. You have full Kelly, which is 1% to 10%. So if you have a system where it's rated 1 unit to 10 units or 1 star to 10 stars, it really means 1% to 10%. So it's not 1% because if you have a 10 unit play, then it's now 10% on the 10 unit play. So you're going 1 to 10 units. So you have a scenario where I'm going to log into Al right now. And we'll do this live in real time. Now, quarter would mean instead of on $100,000, you'd be betting on full Kelly 1,000 to 10,000, 3/4 Kelly 750 to 7,500, half Kelly 5,000 to 500 to 5,000, quarter Kelly 250 to 2,500. Now, well, we don't even need to go through all that. So the reality is this. You're in the one that determines your risk tolerance. Now, if you go to my website, ericpathy.com, you can put that up on the screen, Costi, ericpathy.com. And there is a video that I did, and I'm going on my website right now, on the link tree. There's nothing to buy on my website. It's just a business. It's an electronic business card with some information. If you click on the link tree, there is a video that says 4K to 1 million Kelly criterion syndicate betting. I believe I did this recording. Let me look here. 4 years ago. 4 years ago. I have the camera looking at a table. You can't see anybody. This is a betting group, currency traders from Chicago, Illinois, that we got put together with Micah and David Miller and everybody else and the whole crew. And these guys were explaining full Kelly, quarter Kelly, half Kelly. I would recommend watching this video. It's a 20-minute and 35-second video. Again, I do a lot of these information videos. I'm not trying to sell anybody because the problem always goes back to the beginning bankroll. It doesn't matter if it's 1%, 1 unit to 10 units, 3/4 to 7.5, 5 to 5, or 2.5 to 2.5. What matters is what is the starting bankroll? So the bigger question is whether it's my private syndicate group, whether it's Micah's bots, whether it's any groups that we have to offer. It's not what would you recommend with Big Al. It's what should your bankroll be? And like when you watch the videos that I do daily, it goes back to the same scenario. We have something for everybody. Like I was on the phone with this kid. I always tell these guys, I ask these guys how old they are. They're like my kid's age or my son's age. And it's like, well, what do you recommend? It's not what I recommend. What is your bankroll? So nobody wants to answer that question. Everybody wants to say, well, today I can. Like this guy last week, my buddy, having a great conversation before the show, disappeared, gone. Like people would not even because what happens is people's egos infiltrate and sabotage any success that they can have. So you're asking a question about Al instead of asking a question about yourself. Back to accountability. Now, if you call me up and say you want to play Al's All Access, you better fucking have 50,000 minimum, or don't even bother. We have other products for smaller bankrolls. Everybody gets this concept of thinking that more expensive products are better products. No, it's just different strategies, just like a mutual fund manager has very conservative investments, then moderate conservative investments, and then big risky investments. Now, as we discussed last week, and then we'll continue, the more the risk, the more the reward. The less the risk, the less the reward. You want to fucking swing for the fences? You got to take it both ways. No crying, no bitching, and no whining. I am done going into 2026 with hearing the wah, 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 wah. If you wah, 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 it's because you are underfunded or you're greedy and you're impatient and you're not willing to learn. How can I have compassion for somebody when you're sitting here teaching them 2 + 2 = 4 and they want to say, no, it equals 5? So when back to you being emotional, you, Constantine Safir, are putting too much emphasis in trying to take someone that has no intention of being serious about this and turn them into somebody that's being serious about this. Forget money, just serious. You look at the comments that I have on my video before I answer Brandon's question. You look at the comments that I get the same people for years. Good job, you've made me a lot of money. Good job, you've made me a lot of money. And those same people that comment never complain when a loss is given out, because regardless of whether they pay me or whether they don't pay me, they understand the accountability factor. They are responsible. Nobody is making anyone wager on sports, trade crypto, or trade stocks. What's up, Brandon? Go ahead.
Which Kelly percentage gives you the best way to stay in the game?
Quarter. The least aggressive is the one that's going to keep you in the game longer. Quarter. If you have unlimited money, you can go full Kelly and replenish your bankroll. If you go to ericpathy.com and you listen to that video, I was pressing those guys in the video, pressing them. Why don't you do this? Why don't you do that? Why don't you do this? And this is 4 years old. 4 years old. And they were giving the explanation and the reason why. And the reality is that it goes back to most people are not betting for wealth. They're betting for immediate gratification, and they're not betting to make consistent money. Anytime somebody says to me, oh man, you guys had a rough week, I blew out, or my bankroll's demolished, or all this bullshit, it just means they're not managing their money. You should be able to handle losing 100 games in a row if you're betting correctly. It shouldn't matter. I mean, look at fucking Bitcoin, Costi. This thing, I'm dealing with traders that trade Bitcoin. This thing is like, can't get off the ground. It was at 120, I don't know, 2 weeks ago. And now it's at 86 or something. So it's like, and as low as 80 the other day. 40% drawdown. No, but I don't hear it. Like, I talk to guys, how you doing in the credit? Good. They just get it. They get the volatility. They get the variance. You lose 40 units in sports, you act like the fucking world's coming to an end. But if you're trading crypto and you bought Bitcoin at 120,000 and now it's 86,630, not a peep out of a crypto trader.
It's not the same, because I would say 90%, maybe 95%.
And I'm going to answer Matt's thing that he sent you the other day on here, but we'll get to that. Go ahead.
But so 95% of the clients that we have are not traders from this platform. They're not. The guys that are usually not directly from PickDawgz. They've been our clients for a very long time.
Correct.
And then 5% of the demographic on PickDawgz are crypto traders and day traders. Those guys just get it. They very rarely will even make a comment. There's no comments when things are going good. There's no comments when things are going bad. It's just they get it because they are seasoned in the fact of how to take a loss and how to act appropriate when they take a win. They're level-headed either way. The problem is when the majority of our ecosystem on here come from the fan-based sports betting, everything is emotional. Everything is attached to an emotion. They say the things like losing streaks and, you lost 4 games in a row and 3 games in a row. Who cares? Nothing is a streak. It's a system. It's a model, long term, and it's always the same thing. Whereas you have a 4, 5, 6 days in a row compounded with independent losses of trades, and they stop betting the system. And then there's a week or 2 weeks in a row of winning. And they tell you that so it's when you win, they never make enough. And when you lose more. It's somehow always the exact same with every single.
Somehow I read those public announcements from the sports books, and no matter how much anybody wins, those announcements looks good. Like, but back to the education part of it, like, Matt made a good point on that message Matt B in North Carolina made a good message that you read me to that point, which was,
yeah, I could actually post it.
I don't want you to post his personal information. You can just read it.
No, it's not going to be personal information.
For all you NHL guys, 8 games coming. 8. 6-4 so far for the week, plus almost 3 units. How you doing with that posting?
Getting there.
Bot. Alert bot.
There you go.
Clippers.
There you go.
You read it because I'm multitasking. Go ahead.
It doesn't.
It's all right. Just read it.
It doesn't. Let me just delete it. It does. It's for YouTube comments. It doesn't translate because it's too long. I'm gonna read it real quick.
Yeah.
Hold on one second. So I've been watching videos of Eric and Al. I think there's a disconnect when he tries to compare stocks or crypto. Is the trades are making their own decisions on technicals, where in this case, someone is paying for a service and not a cheap service. It would be like if you pay someone to handle the stocks and crypto and the broker lost 125%, then they would be pissed too. However, no one is making the people place the bets, and there's no guarantee of a return where you sign up. That's why in my case, I haven't said anything, just something I noticed to why maybe so many people are upset in the comments when something like that is said.
Well, so I'm going to answer back. So first of all, he's right, but he's also 100% completely wrong with respect. And we're friends. We talk, we chat on the Telegram all the time. If you were invested in a hedge fund and a money manager was managing your capital, you would never know where you're at on a daily basis because you would be getting either biannual or annual report. While you get a report, while the whole year is going like this, you only get to know the score of the game twice a year, either every 6 months or 12 months. So the error in his comment, while factual, takes in account when you enter a hedge fund, the people I know that are in the hedge fund space, and they acquire a minimum, let's say of $500,000 to get involved. And then they have a lockup. There's no panicking and running for the exits. If you watch the movie The Big Short about Michael Burry and how people were like they couldn't get their money and the real estate market collapsed and then they made all their money. What you're doing is you're asking clients to not be emotional because they have access to the daily P&L of. So when he said down 100% or 125, that's fake. You could be down triple that in a hedge fund. You'll never know when they come back, and you just get that 6-month report. So the difference is now we're talking about information available to a gambler versus an investor, which information available to a gambler is daily, therefore more emotional, therefore more short term. The swings, I guarantee you, I know guys in the hedge fund business are just as fucking big, where they literally go from up 200% to minus fucking 90%. And the guy never knows what happened because he's getting the fucking statement in the mail in 6 months or a year. Maybe some of them do quarterly statements. That's still 120 days. That's like you logging into your betting account and not knowing the outcome of the results for 120 days. The volatility is the same. There is no losing 118 because that's all fake short-term bullshit anyway. The investor wouldn't even know. That's the difference. So let me put it out here. Some of my most successful gamblers / traders are clients that are high net worth individuals that couldn't keep their hand out of the cookie jar. Most of these guys have credit accounts, right, Costi? I mean, they're not, nobody's posting up because you get banned at FanDuel in 10 minutes. So what happens is a couple guys over the years, they say to me, here's my buddy. I'm resetting the password to my account. You make a username, you make a password, you email it to him. He's going to set it up. I don't want to have access to my account. I don't want to see anything. I go in, I make the plays. That guy can't see shit. That's the hedge fund style. He owes the guy sends him a text, you owe me X amount of money. He doesn't know how he got there. He doesn't know the name of the team. He doesn't know the score. He doesn't know the good beat. He doesn't know the bad beat. He doesn't know shit. The guy wins 300 G's. The guy sends him a text, I owe you 300 G's. Same thing. Doesn't know how he got there. Can't follow anything. Can't track anything. Because some of these guys need to literally have their hands tied, their eyes covered, and their mouths taped. Hear no evil, see no evil, speak no evil.
We've even done the insanity lies with the betting accounts.
It has nothing to do. So let me just end this statement. It has nothing to do with what Matt said. It has everything to do with the client having access to every micro movement and every micro trade. We're in the hedge fund business and in the managed money business. There is no access. You just get that report, and whether you win or whether you lose, you never know how you got there. Go ahead. I want to just put the dot.
Yes. I mean, logically, that's how we want to perceive that are some of our products that we want clients to act, but they don't, and we don't, because we're constantly posting reports every week. There's games every night where people get to watch them. So it's never going to be the same, no matter how much we want to emulate that style. We're in the hype business. So it's, in my world, it's irrelevant. I already know that everybody's going to be emotionally invested on a night-to-night basis. I believe, we've been doing this for quite some time. On our high volume fund, this is the first losing football season we've had up to December. From September to December, it has been a net negative on the high volume. But that doesn't mean every single product. On the other hand, we've been killing it on the NHL underdogs, which is very similar to Eric's MLB underdogs. I've been talking about
before this week, you're betting a diamond game, you're up 28.50.
It's not about the money right now. I don't need to pound my chest and say it's been successful. I know for a fact, if you've been following my consensus football channel on a low volume since September, you're printing money. Same thing with basketball. And now we just started the bowl games. The bowl games are so finicky because it's funny. I had a client text me yesterday before the game, and he became a bowl package subscriber, and we gave out Old Dominion. And before the game, he goes, I don't know about that. I always get I never respond pregame or give my like reasoning why. Yes, Stanley, thank you. But it's early. That's not the point of this. It's early. he's on the bowl package. But it was funny because pregame he gives me the report of, I don't know about Old Dominion. South Florida, they beat some tough competition. Then after the game started, he texted me and he goes, I didn't know that South Florida starting quarterback decided to go in the transfer portal. The same client the day before. He goes, I didn't know the entire offensive line is sitting out. That's what I've been trying to tell you. That is what this bowl season is. You can't even send out bowl games 5 days in advance.
Let me say one thing. So let's take Stanley as a perfect example. Stanley's a businessman. So, for instance, Stanley bought the totals in baseball.
Wrong client.
Oh, okay, got it. I'm thinking we got a lot of Stanleys.
No, okay. Wrong Stanley.
My point is, a lot of these. Well, then my point's not proven because I was going to talk about it one Stanley, so we got the wrong Stanley. So
you got the wrong Stanley.
Go ahead.
Let me answer this. How often do pros bet on bowl games? If you take
every game is the same. It doesn't.
Every game is the same.
There's no sport. There's no sport for a pro. Doesn't care what he's betting on. He's looking for an edge.
Costi, give us an edge. So uniquely, as a analyst, because I am a hybrid.
Yeah,
Eric,
I got 8.
Luciano
Morelli.
Hold on. Eric is not a hybrid. I am a hybrid. I am a sports analyst and a professional sports bettor and broker where I deal with syndicate bettors. Eric is just a broker that deals with syndicate bettors. He's not an analyst. We picked up, well, I'm not going to take credit for it. Eric found a underdog.
That's it. Just
NHL group that specifically,
just like
similar to baseball, same thing as baseball, is absolutely slaughtered it. And it's very low volume, only underdogs, and been very successful. So I don't have picks. I don't believe in the word picks. I'm not really sure, Jerry.
So as we would say, Luciano, pagami, and we can do business. That's it. That's
Jerry. Not quite sure what that means. What channel? What picks? Are you talking about the free picks that I give out and the free strategies? Care. Keep coming back. But going back to the bowl games, if you do not have your hand on the pulse, understanding the transfer portal, understanding players sitting out for the draft, understanding players that are just sitting out the bowl game to not hurt their stock, these things change literally by the hour. So you have to be on it every single day. In recent years, I would have bowl groups that would give me games literally for the entire bowl season at once to get the early number, kind of like similar how David Miller operates with the NFL, where he's giving out his plays 4 or 5 days in advance. You were able to get the best price on a bowl game. You could basically give out the entire bowl slate at once before the bowls even started. You can't do that nowadays because literally players are opting out and sitting out the day of the game. So it's become almost like the NBA with players resting, load management, injuries that are not reported day to day. So you can't do that. You have to be really on it. And if you don't have the resources to tell you each and every day who's sitting out, who's not, is it going to affect the game? And is the spread where it should be based on the backups playing? I wouldn't even bet college football bowl games. If you don't have that information and you're going into it blind because you log in the morning and go, oh, this is the game I'm going to play. Doesn't do that. Does it affect? Of course. Of course. All of that, of course, affects the totals. I don't know how many totals we're going to have, Stanley. This group is strictly side. They do about 90% side. So I don't know how many totals they're going to have throughout the bowl season, unfortunately. But I would think a lot of it is going to be on the sides. But, it's back to reality. I've had 7 days of hope. Do you know why I've had 7 days of hope, Eric?
I'm listening.
The Ravens won a game last week. They gave me 7 days of hope right before Christmas. Big Sunday night game.
Guy's name Stavros.
He's the best. Stavros is the best. Stavros Velakis.
I watched a show with him on
But I wonder if
Tires on Netflix, man.
Yeah, he's on there. I wonder if people outside of Baltimore find it as funny as we do. That's what I've always like.
I mean, they don't views.
He gets a lot of views, but I'm saying outside of Baltimore, his shtick that he does after every single Ravens game on social media, I wonder if it's as funny because we resonate with everything that he says. The locations that he drops, all of that. So, but yes, I have 7 days of hope. We have a big game Sunday night at home versus the Patriots. I've been saying this. If we're able to run the table the remainder of the regular season, Eric, we are going to be a dangerous playoff team because the teams we have to face with Patriots, potential top seed. If we beat them, then go on the road to Green Bay on next Saturday night, and we beat them, they're a potential top 3 seed in the NFC, and then we go on the road to the Steelers and beat them the last game of the season. If we could show up in these 3 games and go 3-0, I would have a much different approach of how potent we can get into playoffs because we would just get hot at the right time, which is very possible.
I want to say, I forgot to remember. I told you early in the season that the favorites were rolling. They were like 57% against the spread in the NFL. And I said, at the end of the year, people always ask me about all these sports. I say everything's 50%. The lines are so efficient. So favorites were 57% in the NFL. They are 50.9% now. You ready? If you bet every favorite in the NFL, you are 112, 108, and 4. So when somebody says, I love dogs or I love favorites, and I see these people like putting all this effort into handicapping, remember, if you just flip a coin, this is what you're going to do, 50%. You're paying us or any cappers for that over 50. 50% is easy. That's just losing juice. Can you imagine 112, 108, and 4? 4-game differential. Somebody says, oh, the dogs are so live in the NFL. Nope. Oh, the favorites kill it. They're up. Nope. 4 games. 4 games. If I go to the NBA, just I like to do this because it's kind of funny to see how people always ask, what is the easiest sport? And then when you look at the numbers, you see they're all the same. There is no easier sport. There is no easy sport. You ready? Right now, if you've bet every dog, now, so this is we are now where we were a few weeks ago in the NFL. Remember this, episode 33. If you are betting dogs in the NBA, you have the edge. You're winning 54% of your games. That's very high. Means if you're betting majority favorites in the NBA, you're not making any money. You're losing a lot of money. You are currently right now, if you're betting every dog, 207, 179, and 4. It won't matter. So they're up 50. It's actually 53.6%. You know that now is when not when I say now, I don't mean this moment. It will come back to 50%. Everything will settle at 50, 50.1, 50.2%. And it just, people just don't really understand that flipping a coin, you can save a lot of time if you're not paying for information. Costa, you ready? If you bet every favorite in college football, you were talking about the bowl games, you're 52%, 52.0%, which means you're losing money. Remember, you have to win. For everybody, you can put this up. 53.8 is break even at 110 odds. 53.8% is break even, covering the VIG. So you bet every favorite, you're 452, 417, and 22. So what happens is you're 52%, but you're not making any money. So you got to pick and choose your spots. You got to pick and choose. You're almost break even in college football if you bet only home favorites. You're 53.3%. You're 0.05% away from break even. So the home team advantage in college football was the home team favorite, which now doesn't matter because it's the bowl games. If we go to college basketball right now, currently right now, you ready? 50.7% if you've bet every favorite. 908, 882, and 2, which is 50.7%. No matter what sport I go to, it's 50 point something percent, 50 point something percent, 50 point something percent. And then everybody's trying to hit 90% and talk about hitting 10-team parlays. Tell me where that makes any sense.
The parlay game it's ruining.
It's not ruining. It's making sports books millions.
It's ruining.
They're not our clients.
It's ruining. It is. It's ruining the client's psychological dopamine receptors.
They're getting into it with living.
Because once you go to parlays.
No. It's the opposite.
Once they're betting parlays, it's very hard for them to scale back as a person and not bet parlays.
Yes, I agree. But what I'm saying is if you're a new bettor, you're starting as a parlay bettor.
Always.
You're never starting as a straight bettor.
No. Because of the social media push.
But we already know, just like not everybody drives a Ferrari, we are for the very few that actually want to win. We understand that you're not going to change that. So we just know that the sports books continue to make money. Everyone continues to lose while saying they win. And we deal with the cream that rises to the top. I don't mean financial cream. That sounds very condescending. I don't care about how much money somebody has. I mean the desire to want to win consistently long term.
It's the way. Well, no, you have to rephrase that. The way to win long term is boring.
Yeah, well, look at the short that
Brad all the time.
Look at the short
that is fucking boring.
Brad takes content that I do here. He cuts them into shorts and puts them at PickDawgz on Instagram and TikTok. The last short he just created, which was from last week's show, was saying it's boring. You basically, and then somebody responds, you ready? You ready this?
Mm-hmm.
This is the insanity of people. I can't even read it. It's so stupid.
No, don't.
But the point is, this was last week's short. Hold on.
Yes.
Hold on.
Man.
And so the thing is, for him as well as everybody else, this should not be advice. This should be a boring ass business. Most successful gamblers have two attributes. They're not gamblers. They're traders. So the first attribute is they're not a gambler. It would be an insult to call Billy Walters a gambler. All these guys make a living wagering on sporting events instead of stocks. And all of them are using the math on this shoulder, the angel, and they're forgetting about the motion. So you're not going to change like that guy T last week that was on the show, and he's my man. He even said in his comment, I'm hard-headed. Hard-headed is not the word. Cement that you just can't. He would just rather bet parlays and lose than win. Fine. But I can't have any like compassion for stupidity.
I mean, but I could even take it another layer. It's parlays that are relatively small payouts because they're not 5 legs, 6 legs, 7 legs, or you're taking a correlation of sorts.
But remember,
it's under plus 1,000, right?
Remember,
then people only care about if I put a little bit of money and I could turn it into a lot of bit of money. I could bet 5 or 10 $10 parlays, and one of them can cash me a $20,000 ticket. So then, if you have 8 bets on a Sunday, bet them each independently. It's boring. Put them all in a parlay and see that big number potential. It's like that jackpot hit. That's exciting. And we are in competition as the PickDawgz ecosystem, fighting the parlay hustle is what I call it. Social media every single day is posting these ridiculous parlays where somebody takes the 3 random NFL quarterbacks on a Sunday for first touchdowns in a parlay. So then everybody that's watching that psychologically thinks it could be them next.
If you change the word parlay to lottery, in essence, what you're doing is you're saying the same thing, right? One of the biggest things, the misnomer, is calling somebody a parlay bettor, right? It is okay to be a lottery bettor. It is okay to be a lottery bettor. It's okay. My stepfather is a lottery bettor. He's 87 years old. He plays the mid-afternoon number. He plays the evening number. It's built into his DNA. He's been doing it since forever, since he illegally started buying lottery tickets when he was like 13 years old. There is no expectation that he's anything other than a guy that loves playing the lottery. He doesn't have any delusions of grandeur that he didn't have to work all his life. It was part of his daily go to 7-Eleven, buy the midday, buy the number in the evening. He plays his daughter's birthdays. He plays their wedding anniversary. He's got his 10 numbers that he rotates. He loves the suspense of waiting for the number to come out. In the old days, you'd have to wait for it to be in the paper. Now you can get it on your iPhone. That's okay. He's a lottery bettor. That's his thing. But there's no expectation of any long-term creation of wealth. While I see this geo-targeted parlay nonsense where guys are acting like they're actually making consistent money parlaying when it's just lottery betting. It's okay to be a lottery bettor, and you're doing it for fun. Just like my stepfather's doing it for fun. Your dad's not in the lottery. He never played the lottery, dude.
You know what? My dad is basically, outside of watching the Ravens, the complete opposite personality of me. I have been an educator for many, many years. I have been a bettor for many, many years. I'll take risks in business. I'll take risks in my personal life. Calculated risks all over the place. And he's the opposite. He doesn't do any of that.
Well, he also is an immigrant. He's an immigrant. He came from a culture where there wasn't betting. I mean, think about it. If you're born in Baltimore, Maryland, you got the Pimlico racetrack around the corner. from day one, you're going to the Preakness when you're a kid. It's just built into your DNA. Then you have the Orioles right from birth. You're being brought up. Then you had the Colts back then before you had the Ravens.
No, by the time I got here, I was only 5 years with no football. So, I was 8 to 13 where there was no football here. 1996. I came here in 1991. In 1996, the Baltimore Ravens came here. So I grew up basically. I never played football in middle school. I never actually, uniquely, my parents didn't even know what rec sports were. So they didn't know to put me in travel this, travel that. Like, I played 0 organized sports before high school. I played in like the backyard. I played basketball with friends, period. And then when I got to high school and I joined, I was like, oh, this is cool. I'm going to join the football team. I never played it before except backyard football. By 10th grade, I got moved up to varsity. By junior year, I was a starting middle linebacker. And I fell in love with the game because that was the best sport. That was where I stood out the most. Even though I played lacrosse and I was decent, by far football was the sport that I was excelled in. And then that parlayed my love for the game before sports betting was even a part of it. And then from that point forward, even though I didn't play football beyond high school, then it was the sports betting. Then it was taking my fucking hits.
So do you remember how you even got into sports betting?
It was bookie. It was a friend said, look, do you want to bet the games? I said, yeah, I watch them all the time. I'll bet. And then I lost. And then I lost. And then I got pissed. And then I lost some more. And I couldn't figure out why I was losing because I felt like my opinion was really good. And then it came to a point where I said, you know what? I'm doing something wrong. I worked too hard because I remember I was in the mortgage industry at that point. And I said to myself, I was like, I worked too hard to not understand that this is not about emotion. There has to make more sense of why there's people that do well in this and why the majority of the people lose. And that's when I got into the pro side of business.
But so, like, if we go full circle back to what I was showing you, real numbers, math, not emotion, without doing any analysis whatsoever, what's amazing is that people lose. Because technically, nobody's supposed to lose. Technically, the price of membership to enter the gym of sports betting is you're going to lose a very little tax to have fun, break even, and lose 10%, right? You bet 100, you lose $10. You win one, you lose one. Because remember, the stats don't lie. Everything's 50%. So why do people lose? They don't lose because they're picking losers. They're losing because of their money management and their impatience. Let me double down. Let me chase. I lost 3 in a row. There's no way I can lose 4 in a row. Martingale system.
I think it's Eric, it's not even chasing. The word in which correlates to what we do, which is poker or blackjack.
Yeah, for all those out there, I'm 52.
Tilt. T-I-L-T. People go on tilt. Going on tilt means they've lost money. They want to recoup their money, which is chasing. It's the same thing. Chasing and tilt's the same thing. But tilt is psychologically, when you go on tilt, it's the hardest thing to escape if you're in the moment.
On tilt because you had no game plan before you started.
Most people don't have a game plan.
So maybe I'm cut from a different cloth because here's how I go. I fly to Vegas. We're not talking about sports betting. I like playing Baccarat. My good friend Troy is a pro Baccarat player. I take, let's say, 10 G's with me. Never have a credit card in my wallet. ever when I'm in a casino. Leave them in the car, lock them in the safe. No credit cards, no way to get more capital. There's no tilt. I go in now. Maybe it's the way I'm built. Maybe I have the discipline most people don't. I walk in, boom. I'm willing to lose the 10 G's and walk out with zero. There's no chasing. That guy's going to be dealing hands at that baccarat table 24/7, 360. What am I? I could take the 10, turn it into 100. I could take the 10, turn it into zero. There's no tilt. I had a game plan going in. I didn't have a game plan of how I can win. I had a game plan of what I was willing to lose. So if I lost that, I'm done. Now, what do you say to that? Then you can't go on tilt.
I commend you for having that. And you're also the guy that doesn't watch the games.
True.
You're also the guy that when we all go to Vegas on our trip, you're not even in the casino for the most part.
Why are you acting like I'm not friendly and antisocial?
It's not what I'm saying. It's maybe what I'm saying.
Yeah.
But it's you could also be the guy that watches the games and be the guy that plays all the table games and have discipline. So it's not you specifically, but in general, the way to make money in this business is to have zero emotion. We say this probably every single podcast. We've been doing this for 33 on YouTube, and we'll be doing it and we'll be saying it every single podcast. Now, how do you take the emotion out of it when you watch the game?
Yeah, I can't. You have to answer that because I don't want to watch games.
The answer is, if you believe you made a correct play beforehand, that money is gone. Act like it disappeared. Now, when the game finishes, you get a return. You're putting that back into your bankroll, or you have a plan every single week to take out 10% of your profits or 20% of your profits a week or a month. However, you have a balance sheet of P&L. If you don't keep a balance sheet of your profit and loss, you're already at a huge disadvantage. I know it sounds crazy. There's a reason why, win or lose, every single Monday, I give people profit and loss reports. I don't give them win-loss records. Win-loss records in our world don't mean anything because every system and every group we represent has a different money management style.
Right.
So I give people profit and loss reports and I go over it. And then some people make the mistakes of incorrectly placing wagers. I need to figure out the error so you don't keep repeating that same mistake. And is it easy? No. If it was that easy, everybody be doing it. The reality is there's only a fraction of a small percentage of the people that actually win sports betting doing it for a living. There's a lot of people that could do this and give you their opinion every day. Doesn't mean that they're always winning long term. And again, every season is different. I mean, in a perfect world, every single season would be a profitable for us. It's not the case with every group that we represent. It's just, and that's okay. It's just for the only thing I dislike about our position in the industry is that new client starting tomorrow is going to have a much different record than the client that started a week ago.
Yeah, but the guy
you have to separate the two.
That's like saying the guy that bought Tesla 20 years ago is going to be different than the guy that bought today. At some point today has to be your first day. So I mean, you're going to be a father in March, God bless, God willing, in this March for the first time. You're going to set up a college account for your future child. Your child could have had her college account set up 20 years ago. No, she couldn't. This is when so it's like at some point it's everybody's first day to invest, to buy crypto, to bet on sports, to buy into a system. And that in math is called the bell curve. Everything takes care of itself. That's why people always call me and say, can I buy a day? No. 7 days minimum or 30, or I'm not for you. Head over to PickDawgz.com. purchase games from the talented cappers online that offer advice daily, because I want to be held to the minimum threshold of 7, preferably 30, if not more.
I'll finish it off because we're at the hour mark.
Amazing.
Pablo is a client of Eric's who's a quant that truly understands math. Very easy to talk to a person like him versus somebody that is truly just an emotional sports bettor.
A pleasure to talk to.
Short-term results are noise, not signal. I like that one. That one's good. And Stanley, listen, there's a reason why we are who we are, and there's a reason why you're a happy client. It's not a mystery. We have the resources to make you a lot of money, and you're willing to listen, and I appreciate that. With that being said, we are done. Another episode of Tales from the Ticket.
Let me ask you, who are you betting on, the Ravens or the...
We will be back here next week, the day after Christmas.
Oh, right.
Thursday.
When's Christmas?
Wednesday.
Ah, okay, cool.
So we'll be back here next Thursday, as always, 1:00 p.m. Check out Eric's Dime Club video. Check out my Sharp Trading video. I always do price mistakes. Eric does a lot of different strategies. Check out all of it. I'll be on the morning show tomorrow. If you're looking to get some free predictions, I always break down the board with the guys. For everybody that's here, have an early, happy, Merry Christmas. Spend it
Feliz Navidad, Pablo, as well as the rest of those Spanish speakers.
And on Christmas nowadays, we get NFL football. So there you have it. You don't have to be with your families that long. There'll be NFL for you to bet. With that being said, everybody have a restful Thursday. And we'll be back here next week at 1 p.m.